Welcome, guys. Next 15-20 minutes, we're just looking at an update on Safeguarding and Prevent since the last quarter. Okay, the usual online safety and etiquette is appealing, fantastic. Okay, so main aim now, just looking at relaying to you guys on the front line and our support staff information from regional and national professionals, and then also just a very quick update on our internal trends. So the main thing we'll be looking at really is update on online risk, which is a key focus nationally, regionally, and for us, we know what we're looking at. Any update on changes and use of CPOMs, and then just having an industry update as a general. Okay, so update on online risks. So there has been increased cases being seen nationally and regionally. So these are the ones that are being filtered into us from our partnership work and our relationships with David Leighton Scott, who we've all had personal training from, which is fantastic. Thames Valley Police, which we work closely with, obviously Bedfordshire Police, but then the national remit that we need to keep an eye on. There has been a massive increase in harmful online challenges and online hoaxes. So these are things that are not being portrayed in the media, because at the minute the media have got enough to push what they want to push with Brexit, with COVID-19 and so on and so forth. But in the past, some of us who've been in education a while will have heard around the hoax blue whale, is it Slender Man kind of hoaxes and challenges, things along those lines are starting apparently to pop up again. So if we can, we need to just be aware of conversations that anybody is having around challenges, anything that we hear or see, find out more about it. Be inquisitive, ask them questions about things, okay? Where do you hear that? How do you know that is true? Or what do you have to do for that kind of game, and so on. The key one at the minute for us, especially with the amount of adult learners we have got on board, is fake news. Okay, looking at those extremist propaganda coming in, people taking advantage of COVID-19, which we have talked about in the past, politically aligning it and actually using it to groom people, okay, quite subtly, to the point that they're agreeing with some of this, the ideology around far-right views, for example. The dark web as well, but also something that we need to be aware of, because it is a rounded safeguarding position that we have, is around catfishing. And catfishing is somebody pretending to be somebody else through an online platform for their benefit. Now, historically, it is linked to relationships, and it's linked to forming friendships and other kind of relationships through pretending to look like or be or have something that other people have, okay? It's also linked now to other organizations. So being able to groom somebody and engage them into far-right extremist or extremist views, pretending to be somebody similar to them, or dare I say it, somebody even famous, okay? So we would always challenge, whenever we hear something, we want to challenge our candidates to look into it a little bit deeper, to step away and look at it from the side, okay? And that publication is coming from there if you want to have a look at it at a later point. There is a huge increase in gaming being used. So we've always been aware of this, at the forefront of the associated dangers, just purely because a lot of gaming is online, okay? But we're now noticing recently that people are actually being convicted through the use of gaming. So a teenager has recently been convicted because he was able to use a game which is called Minecraft to hide instructions on how to make a bomb. Okay, so he used the actual platform of Minecraft, which all age of children and adults use, and he was able to distribute it to other people encrypted almost. And unless you knew you were looking for it, which these people did, you wouldn't be massively obvious that it could be dangerous. Well, he was caught using that. And that's just an example of how sophisticated these things are now. And actually easy if you have the intent. So just be aware of that. So we are now being targeted. So educational establishments are now back getting targeted like we knew 18 months ago we were. So Charlie, Lise in Hertford, we've got ideologists, extremists around there. Around the university site there has been stickers, and that's the way that they promote an area. They will put very quick images and stickers which you can find on our Padlet on buildings to notify that these groups are in the area. Anti-establishment and government protests have been hijacked. We're all seeing it on the news. We're all aware of what's been happening in Bristol. Slightly different in Ireland because there is a lot of political unrest and uncertainty for 20 years over there, but more aligned to, as we know, the Black Lives Matter movement, looking to the feminist movements and the safety on our streets, the Kill the Bill, and so on and so forth. They are being hijacked from the original reasons for them happening and turned into a kind of a more anti-establishment. And then we've still got our COVID-19, which people are trying to spread now. It's linked to vaccines and trying to drum up the danger of a vaccine without giving all facts and without giving somebody both sides to the story, which means that it can very quickly start to lead somebody down a path of a one-sided viewpoint, which we know is dangerous. Okay, there has been this propaganda, stickers, leaflets seen in Bedford on our doorstep, especially in and around Russell Park. Okay, linked to anti-vaccination posters. If we, as we know, come across this in our own lives or any of our centres, please report it, and if you're not sure, report it to me and I will guide you through that, or I will do it for you. Okay. Online risks. So within SSG, as you would imagine, vulnerable young people and adults. We're then being targeted for county lines. We're seeing an increase in that, whether it's just because the people who we are supporting, but we're getting face to face with these people again. We're looking at an increase or an openness to talk about elements of domestic abuse off the back of not being able to escape for that period of time. What we're also seeing as well is, if you're privy to this information, a real increase in mental health at the higher end. So we know that we're dealing fantastically well with people who are struggling with their health and having poor health, but we've also got a few people who are being medically managed who have an illness linked to it, psychosis or other illnesses, and they're really being affected, including one recently which has unfortunately led her through to extremist views, and the channel panel are looking to support her in the future when she starts recovering. And then we're having missed episodes. Now this may well be obvious to you normally because you're tracking registers, you're looking at where people are. For me, monitoring missing episodes or poor attendance, I need to say it out loud. This is a safeguarding concern, okay? And you are fully aware. I get that. You're doing a great job, but have conversations with people about their poor attendance and use this platform, i.e. this topic, as part of your discussion. So yes, disappointed you didn't turn up. Yes, it's not professional. You've missed out, so on and so forth. But then try a different form of ammunition. I was worried about you. I was concerned about your welfare. I can't just bump into you into a corridor anymore. So if you're not contactable through the day, that plays on my mind. And I use that as a way to get into them, to get them to start thinking about their behaviour and attendance. That should then whittle 95% down to just non-attendance, leaving you with maybe 5% that need additional support. Okay? So changes to the use of CPOMs. Okay, as you can see there, what I want to do here is just identify the fact that we are, and maybe it's my fault, I'm not constantly telling you enough, the amount of praise you guys are getting is brilliant. And that's from external funders, social workers, local authorities, even now police, healthcare workers, you name it. We are dealing with some isolated but really serious cases, and we're not getting challenged with our reporting, we're not getting challenged with our description, and we're not getting challenged with our record keeping, which is just fantastic because it's you guys that are doing it. So brilliant, keep up the good work. When we look to a couple of incidents that have happened recently that were completely out of your hands, okay, revert back to old school paperwork. We were really good at safeguarding before we used CPOMs. It just took us a lot of time, a lot of energy, and it wasn't efficient. So if that system fails you, flick back to the paperwork and then shout about it and let us know. We can then upload the paperwork and we can chase CPOMs as a software system. Industry updates. Okay, I don't think there'll be anything on there that should shock you, but exploitation, far right, imagery, signs, stickers, propaganda, documentation, and then the support element around domestic abuse as we are starting to come out of lockdown. Those 3 resources are being saved centrally on our Padlet. Okay, so feel free to access the Padlet, have a look at them, make sure that you're familiarising yourself, direct your candidates to the Padlet as well so they can look at that information. Make it something in your diary that every week or 2 weeks you just pop in for 5 minutes. It's all date stamped, it's all columned, so you're able to see if there's anything new and see how you can help yourselves increase your knowledge on there around these 3 things. Okay. This one here is just telling you really what's up and coming. So over the next few weeks, there will be some stress testing around our policy and procedures. Basically, we've got it in place. We think it's good, but what if? Okay, so that will be very much me and management, and we'll be seeking your opinion on things. Okay. Any questions, guys? No. Okay.
There's been no questions in the chat, but Emma has uploaded another website that she said is useful.
Fantastic. And again, the thing with safeguarding, prevent, we have what we would class as our kind of mandatory. This is what we have to be compliant, and we do that. And compared to what we do in SSG, that is minuscule. Okay, we look at safeguarding pretty much daily, if not every other day. And we are on the ball with it because we want to make sure that you have everything in place to help your candidates and yourselves. Okay, because my final note will be how fantastic it's been to see Wellbeing Wednesdays, Win Wednesdays in management meetings, the initiative that Hannah Cole's run out around how we can engage ourselves, our well-being, and our kind of our own position as we slowly come out of this lockdown. It's been fantastic because we are important. Yes, our candidates are, but ourselves and our colleagues are just as important. So our safeguarding practices and processes are there for you just as much as they are for your candidates as well. So feel free to access everything we talk about for yourself, 100% privately and in confidence, elevated to my level if needs be. It doesn't have to be through management, okay? We also have a HR system in place now and being run by Laura. So again, accessing that. And if you need support, feel confident that you can approach people through process. Okay. Right then, guys, I'll leave you with that. Thanks so very much for your time. Apologies for running slightly over, and I'll see you in the next one.
Cheers. Thank you, Danny.
Thanks.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Many thanks. Cheers.